Hi, my name is Nia, and this video is about how I started doing bullet journals and that whole process. So, I didn't even know bullet journals existed for, a long time. And then I found out about them a couple of years ago by accident. There was, I don't know, there was, an article or something about them on, BuzzFeed or some rant, or I don't know, there was something somewhere and I saw it. So I decided to start doing bullet journals because I'm a very organized person, especially when it comes to assignments and projects and work type things. I need an area where everything is where it's supposed to be. I love color coding. I have all my files on my computer are labeled and in the correct place so I can easily find them. If they're not, I have a folder that's labeled needs to be sorted, and anything that's not sorted I put it in there, and then I'll have days where I will organize my computer hard drive or my external hard drive. I like organization in as many aspects of my life as possible for the most part. So another one of the reasons that I started using a bullet journal was because in school I would always use my agenda, but I hated them because they would always have useless things in there that was just wasted space, and I'd be like, oh, I could have used this space for something else. And then also that whole thing where people can just put everything in their phone, and then they open their calendar and there's just a million, they have all of their stuff in the calendar or in their notes. I couldn't do that because it doesn't work for me. I tried it when I started college and it's just not for me. I need a physical thing where I can see everything and flip between stuff. So I'm a recovering college student, and when I was in school I always used my agenda. I'm so hungry and I have to poop. Also, in store-bought agendas, in addition to there being wasted space or me not using things, I may not have liked the layout of most store-bought agendas. So I started looking up DIY agendas, and then I came across bullet journals again, and that's when I really delved deep and started researching what's a bullet journal, what is it, what can I do with it, blah 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 blah. Also, in one of my classes at that time, there was a girl in the class who had a bullet journal, and she did I went to an art school and it was a design class, so she did one of her projects about her bullet journal, and she showed pictures of it during one of her presentations on her process, and I thought it was her bullet journal was gorgeous because she could draw and she could paint, and so she had, anyways, that also fueled my interest in, ooh, that's interesting, and I think I want to do that too. When I decided that I wanted to do a bullet journal, I went and bought one off of Amazon, and then I just looked up different things that you could put in your I looked up different things I could put in my bullet journal, and I just trial and errored my way through it to see what I liked, what I didn't like, what was useful to me, what wasn't, and just picked and choose and refined things that I had inside of it. What I really like about bullet journals is that they're customizable. So if something works for you, you can put it in there. It might not work for someone else, but that's fine because it's yours. You can try something out, and if you don't like it, then you don't have to do it again. Also, if you try something but it's not entirely working for you, you can modify it and change it around so that it does. Also, there's no rules to what a bullet journal should look like. It can be neat, it can be messy, it can be minimalistic, it can be full of every crevice, and page can be completely covered. You could do elements of all of the above, and it's perfect. So here is my first bullet journal. I just went on Amazon and I found it. There's different types of bullet journals. They're the pages. There's lined, there's dotted, and then there's plain. I like the dotted ones because I could do more than with lined, and I could fit more in there than the lined. So yeah, this is my first bullet journal. Here's my name in it on the first page. And then I just looked up, when I was first doing this, I went on Pinterest and I just looked up bullet journals, and I just looked at all the different things you could put in there, and I tried those things out. So in this first one, I found a key that someone made and I copied that down. So I have a key, and I also have a table of contents in here. Also, by the way, any of the pages I show you, well, not any of them, but like I took pictures of a bunch of the pages that are in the various bullet journals that I have, and I will have a slideshow of them so you can take a closer look, and it's going to be posted on my website, and that link is going to be in the description. I have a calendar for like the year, because that was like another thing I saw a lot. I did a water tracker for the year because I started my bullet journal in September of 2018, so I only did it for the rest of that year of my calendar and my water tracker. I tried to do a period tracker. I have an app for that, so I never... Also, the entire year didn't fit in this bullet journal, so once I moved out, like, I never referred to the rest of the tracker again to mark stuff in it because I was already in a different bullet journal. So the period tracker was like one of the first things I got rid of. And I had a health and habit tracker, and I really hate the way I did this because for each thing I wrote like numbers. I don't know if you can see, but I really like the habit tracker and the health tracker. But like when I had first started doing this for my habits, I have a hair tracker because I went natural my senior year of high school and I cut off all the like relaxed and damaged hair, and then like the next 2 years it was just kind of growing out and it was still kind of short, and I didn't know how to do natural hair at all. I'd never had no experience with it. But then like by 2018 it was getting like to a length where I was like, oh, I need to like figure out how to do this. So then I started tracking like how often I would condition my hair, wash my hair, washing and shampooing are the same thing. How often I would comb my hair, how often I deep conditioned my hair, like anything I did to my hair, I would track how often I did it. And like I said, I love color coding so that all the different colors have a corresponding thing in my key. I also was taking vitamins and exercising. I would track how often I have eczema, so I would track when I would have like really bad like flare-ups to try to figure out what caused them. I would track whenever I had asthma attacks so I could keep track of how often they were happening. I also have sensitive skin because I have eczema, so then I would also track like skin irritation. Because I have sensitive skin, a lot of things irritate me, so whenever I would have skin irritation, I would mark that down. So like if I wore makeup and it irritated me, I would mark it down, and then I would know like, oh, this type of makeup irritates me at like a medium level, or this type of makeup irritates me like a whole bunch where I can never use it again. Those are the kinds of things I was tracking, and you can figure out what you want to put in your habit and health trackers, just whatever works for you. And then I also had the monthly calendar where I would have the calendar for the month, and then on this side I would have like important dates or notes that in general, so I could easily find them and come back to them. I had my schedule for fall quarter in there, although I also had it on my phone. So like this schedule, I don't really do it anymore because I know when my classes are. They're in my phone. I never looked at this, and it was just kind of just like, it was pretty, but it was just like a waste of space. I also had a sleep tracker. Oh my gosh, I was so glad when I started doing this, because I started doing this before I got my fitness watch. I've only had my fitness watch for about a year now, but I've been doing sleep trackers for 2 years now, and oh my gosh, like, you should definitely do a sleep a sleep tracker of some kind. And like I do have my fitness watch and it does track my sleep, but I like having also this physical one so I could see the whole month all together. And like I can also do that on my phone, but there's just something different about seeing it here. And I would track when I would sleep. I also would track when I took naps. I don't know if you can see it because it's in yellow. But yeah, so that helped me a lot because then I would be like, why am I so tired? And then I would look at my sleep tracker and I'd be like, oh, it's because I only got 4 hours of sleep for the past week and my body is like ready to cash in that sleep tax. I would also have like the weekly calendar, and this was the part that acted like my agenda, where I would write down my class assignments and like homework and projects, and if I had meetings, anything like that. And then I don't do this version of the layout anymore, where there's like a notes section on the side, and then we have the agenda part, and then there's like, oh, this is what you can do for next week. I never used the notes. I mean, I would write stuff there just to try to force myself to use it, but it was useless and I got rid of that. I will show you how my agenda is now when I do need it. I also would try different styles. So like here was one style with like boxes around the dates and like highlighting the stuff, but then I would also try like here it's written differently and I've got a little flag and it's in cursive, like different aesthetics. Here it's another flag and it's like harsh lines all the way down or full lines. So like you can try different layouts and you can customize your calendar for the month. This is really ugly. I don't even want to, but yeah, so you could have different themes for your months. Play around with different layouts and patterns and designs. You can keep changing it because that's what I did at the beginning, or you can just choose a layout that you like and just do that one all the time. And that's what I do now. When I was using these, I have two that I used for my for this school year, and I would also take notes for my classes in these. Not all of my notes, but I would have class notes, like the important notes that I had to refer back to all the time. I would take them in these. I stopped doing that because my class notes weren't all together, and then I would have to flip through searching for them, so I stopped doing that. But like here's an example of class notes that I took in here, or like club notes or whatever. But yeah, so you can do like whatever you want in here. And I just trialed and errored my way through it, trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. I changed from like putting the whole year's worth of like trackers at the beginning, and instead I would just do them for that month, which helped a lot. So like this is December, here's the sleep tracker for December, here's the health and habit tracker for December, so then I wasn't having to like flip all the way to the beginning to do for like those specific things. I also would have like a spending log and a wish list. I had a subscription list. You can't see anything because it's in pencil and there's not a lot on it because I didn't have a lot of subscriptions at this time because I had no money. I saw some things where you had like your shopping list and your like weekly budget or like your monthly budget, either or, for like food and dining out and like whatever else, and you just have like one page and you could stick like post-its on there, write your shopping list, and then just rip it out. I tried that, didn't work for me, never did it again. And then I tried to do like quarter headings because I was using this for school, so I would start off with the quarter, my schedule, even though I didn't look at the schedule, but just to make it pretty. And then I would have the month. There's my sleeping thing. Here's my monthly habit and health tracker. I eventually condensed them to one thing, and I had my water tracker. And then I recently, as of like last month, I like changed my layout for the health and habit tracker. Like I said earlier, I got rid of the notes and next week thing, and I just like simplified the layout. I got tired of drawing all the little like flags and all the stuff because like school was happening and I didn't always have time to like do all the fancy like drawings and colorings and stuff. So I would just get my pen and I would go across, write down the important stuff, which was the dates and whatever week it was. Like this was February 4th to the 10th, week 5. I do now, and I would have important things in here. Like if like this was not class notes, so like I would put those in here because I know that's what's in this journal. So like the other one had the SCAD Savannah Film Festival and all the notes from all the panels and Q&As and stuff I went to. This one has the one for SCAD, the ATV Fest, and all the things, all the notes for various things. Here's a page where I just doodled a whole bunch because that's what I felt like. There's my name a whole bunch, and this is just a bunch of doodles. They're not like the prettiest or coolest looking doodles, but yeah. And I also like this type of bullet journal that I've been getting because it's dotted, so it's easy to like draw the lines and stuff because it's a grid. It's a grid, but it's dots. They also have grids that are full lines, but I don't like that. That's too much on the page and I don't want to see it. They also have pockets in the back for like things. I don't have anything in that one, but I have some in some of the other ones. This is my bullet journal right now. It's almost full because I'm moving on to another bullet journal for August. There's a bug, or is it dust? I do not know. And it's yellow. It's one of my favorite colors. I really like the primary colors aesthetic. So this one is just like calendars and notes and habit and health trackers and stuff. Here's the key. I kept what worked and I took out the stuff that didn't work. I added some new stuff. When you go and flip back through your bullet journals and you have sections for things and you notice that you're not using them, maybe try a different version of it to see if that works better for you or get rid of it. And then here's just like another look at how my calendar is. The lines stretch all the way across the page. Like I said earlier, I color code, so each color is for a different class. So I know exactly what I have to do for that class. Or like, oh, I have a lot to do for this class or not that much for this class. Or if there's a color missing, did I have something to do for that class and I forgot to write it, or did we not have anything due? So then I would know to like double check things if stuff was missing. So May of like a couple months ago, May 2020, was when I redid the way I do my health and habit tracker. Oh my gosh, and I was so glad. And when I did it that way, I was like, why wasn't I doing it this way the whole time? Because this makes way more sense, and what I was doing before was stupid. But instead of like having a whole page where I write the number down, I just made a chart and the numbers are over here. I only have to write the numbers once and everything is up there, and then I can just put any information in there when I need to, instead of having to write 1 to 30 or 1 to 31 a million times going down the page. So that's the way I do my health and habit tracker now. So much better. I'm so much happier, and like my wrist doesn't hurt from like having to write it a million times. And I also simplified it even more, where I had like categories for things, and then I have different colors for different meanings, and then I put what those different colors mean in here, so I didn't have to have like a million rows at the top. And here is the one I have now for July, which is almost over. I have a short video of how I drew this. In the description, I will be linking the Pinterest board that I made, where I put all like the inspiration things that I get for my little monthly calendar designs or whatever. Because trust, like, I'm not that artistic, and so I did not come up with these myself, but I found them and I got inspiration, or I modified different versions. But yeah, like, you can have so much fun with your bullet journal. It can be like really calming to just color these in and fill them in. I recently added a new tracker, so in addition to my health and habit tracker and my water tracker, I also have a word count tracker so that I can keep track of how much I'm writing each time I have a writing session. And that really helps me because I'm a writer and I've been trying to be more consistent in my writing. So that was a great way for me to do that. So this is the bullet journal that I will be using when August begins. I have my key again. It's been refined and condensed to what I need the most. I have this section for book recommendations. I have this section for movies to watch, and on this side I'm going to have TV shows to watch. I have a monthly spending log instead of a general spending log, and then I have my wish list on the other side. Then over on this page, I have it for like ideas or notes that don't pertain to like a specific month, but if they're just like, because I'm a writer, so like I'll have ideas for like a story or a character, or like, oh, that would be an interesting thing. And in my other journals, I would just write them wherever, but then like I would have to flip through to find where I put that note, if I even remembered that I wrote the note. So this is going to be like, these pages is just going to be like a place where I can jot down whatever ideas I have for whatever it is, and I'll know exactly where to go to refer to it. And then on this page, I'm thinking about trying out like routines or like a schedule for like days when I don't have anything to do, which has been like all of quarantine. I've just been in my house. I work best when I have a schedule, and I'm more productive when I have a routine. I think I'm gonna do like 3 different schedules for 3 different days, and I'll have like an A schedule, a B schedule, and a C schedule, and I'll have it in here. I don't know how I'm gonna do that just yet. I've been like looking at routines and schedules of like that people have done in their bullet journals, and I'm still looking for like something I think I can tweak, something I think I can tweak to work for me. And then I made my August, and then I have my sleep tracker, and then I have my health and habit tracker, and my water tracker, and then I have my word count tracker. And then over here, I don't know if I'm gonna have another track, basically like a chore chart, I think I'm gonna put on that side. So like, how often or when was the last time I washed my sheets? When was the last time, or like, whose turn is it to do the cat litter, or like, whose turn is it to do the dishes, like those types of things. The rest of it is blank because August hasn't started yet, and I don't have anything else to put in there right now. So like I said earlier, when I was using these journals, I was also putting class notes into them, but I didn't like that. However, I did like the sturdiness of these journals. I used to take all my notes in spiral notebooks, but like, spiral notebooks are awful because the pages get caught in the metal and they rip, and the stuff easily rips out. I stopped taking notes in those journals and my bullet journals, and then I had journals that were just for my classes. I thought about doing like color-coded journals, but I ended up using these for more than one class. So I do have a table of contents in these journals. It's not like super like ridiculous or anything, but it's just so I know these were the classes that were in this journal. and then I got washi tape, and I put it on the edge of the page so that I can look on the spine. This is not the spine, or I don't know. I can look at it and easily find like 1, 2, 3, this is the class I'm looking for. I also did try to group them as best as possible by the types of classes I was taking, but I know exactly where to go to find them. So that's how I use a table of contents for my classes. Depending on what kind of journal you get, sometimes, because these are like bound and they're like nice quality, they can be on the expensive side. These, I will link in the description the brands that these are, because I'm not trying to spend like $15 for one journal. That's ridiculous, and you shouldn't either, because there are cheaper journals out there. I just like swallowed a bunch of spit. These are the same brand journal, and they come in a bunch of different colors, and you can also buy them in packs. So like, I bought these, this was a pack of 3. I wanted 3 journals, and buying the pack of 3 was like way cheaper than buying 3 individual journals. And then these I bought in a 2-pack. And this brand was fine. They're basically the same journal. They're both dotted. They both have pockets. They both have ribbons for a bookmark. It's just that this brand was bigger and had more pages. And it also had more like colors and options. So that's why I started using these. So I have flashed this journal a couple of times, but I haven't said what it is. This is my actor's journal. In some of my other journals, you saw that I had the sections for the Scattsville Film Festival and all the notes that I had there, and then I had the ATV Fest notes in there, but I decided to just put those all in this one journal so that I could consolidate all my notes with acting. And if there was like a guest speaker who was like in the industry who would come, if that wasn't associated with a class, and so like I couldn't put it in one of my class journals, I would put it in here because it was for acting. But if I went to a meeting, like I went to a meeting with a financial advisor, they were doing a presentation, and I put that in this journal because it was a meeting that wasn't associated with a class, but it's not associated with acting either. So I would put that in this journal, and this one just had anything associated with acting. I also had like just notes about various things. Like, I live in Atlanta. That's the industry area that when this pandemic is over, I'll be like operating in. So I had notes about like the agencies that are here, the casting companies and the casting directors that work in Atlanta, acting classes that are in Atlanta. Like, I had all that stuff in here. Websites about like theater and acting and whatever that are specific to Atlanta. I also have the section, you can't see it because it's in pencil, that's like, I have my audition monologues in here. Another thing that I do when I am writing in any of these journals is I always write in pencil first, especially, I always write in pencil first, and then I go over it in ink so that it'll look neat and I can make sure everything is where I want it to be. For my notes, when I do that, I write all my notes in pencil so that it forces me to go back over in ink, and I'm rereading all of my notes. So that's another thing that I do in my bullet journals. This is also my audition journal, so I can write down like what the audition was, where it was, who it was with, what it was for, blah 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 blah, which you should do. So yes, this is my actor journal. But yeah, so I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be putting a time-lapse video of how I made my July calendar head at the end of this video. But don't forget, I also am putting a slideshow of close-ups from my bullet journals of like pictures and different things that I have in them, so you can take a close look at them. And that's going to be on my blog. Also on my blog, I have personal essays, movie and book reviews, journal entries, short stories, and you can also follow me and or my cats on Instagram. That's also linked in the description. And I will also be linking my bullet journal Pinterest board in the description so you can see where I get my ideas for things. My cat is walking on my bed, which is where I have my tripod on, and it's like shaking, so ignore that. So you can see where I get the inspiration for some of the layouts and stuff, or like I just straight up copied drawings for the calendars from them. But yeah, and like any other link I mentioned, they're all gonna be in the description below. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day or a great night or a great whenever you're watching this. And oh, it's raining. What? Why are you yelling at me? Hello, you want some attention? Is that what it is? Bye.